Lizzie hugged her grandmother nervously. She was well aware of her present state. "Hello, Lizzie, my how you have grown," Grandma said. It was at that moment that the smell hit everyone's nose. "Smells like I have to change someone." Sandra spoke up. "You mean she is actually in diapers?" Grandmother inquired. "Yes, Mother. I told you all about it on the phone. Lizzie is a baby for the summer." "I thought you were kidding." "Well, I wasn't." Grandma stood and looked at her daughter and granddaughter for a moment. She had the feeling of someone trying to grasp a difficult concept and not getting it. "Well," she said after a moment, "the guest room is yours." "Thank you, Mother," Sandra responded as she whisked Lizzie inside for a much-needed diaper change. Soon a diaper was changed and Lizzie sat up on the bed. Sandra sat down on the bed and looked at her daughter. "I want you to stay here for a few minutes. Your grandmother and I need to talk in private." "Okay. Okay, Mother." With that, Sandra placed a pacifier in Lizzie's lips and left. Lizzie laid back down and began to think about what the weekend held. She was not sure about anything anymore. She had wanted to be in diapers and be a baby for so long, and now some of it was starting to rub her the wrong way. She saw the strange look in grandmother's eyes and knew that tomorrow she would see the same look in everyone's eyes. It began to make her feel very uncomfortable. Lizzie started to cry a little at the thought of what was coming. Part of her tears were for sadness and surprising part of them were for joy. She wanted to be a baby and from the looks of it got exactly what she wanted. Lizzie wondered what they were talking about in the other room. Lizzie strained her ears to try and pick up the conversation. But all she could hear was mumbles. Their voices were not loud enough to pick up and distinct words. It was then she heard her mother plain as day scream, "I want my daughter to get over the idea of being a baby, and if this is the best way to do it, I will." Lizzie was shocked. She thought her mother was doing this out of love. Instead, she was doing this out of something else altogether. Lizzie lay back in the bed and cried herself to sleep. A while later, Lizzie woke up and looked around her. Her mother was looking at her and smiling. "Are you okay, honey?" Sandra asked. Lizzie wanted so badly to tell her mother off. After all, she had just learned that her mother was punishing her with baby treatment, not loving her with it. But looking into her mother's eyes at that moment, all she could think to say was, "I'm fine. Good, everyone is downstairs waiting for you." "Everyone?" Lizzie said apprehensively. "Yes, everyone, now let's get you changed and downstairs." It was then that Lizzie realized she was soaking wet. Soon she was in dry diapers and her mother was helping her to her feet. "Mother, yes dear, what about pants?" "Honey, it's too hot for pant, and besides, babies often run around in just diapers and a t-shirt, and you are a baby for the summer." Lizzie looked at her mother in shock. She actually was gonna let her wear just diapers. Lizzie was not sure about this. She had hoped to hide her baby state a little bit. Now it was gonna be on display for everyone to see. Lizzie slowly left the guest room and headed down the hall to the main living room. She could hear everyone talking as she approached the room and felt a quiet when she entered into the room. Everyone looked up and saw her enter the room. It seemed like forever with everyone staring at her. But in reality it was only a second. Soon a strong man stood up from his comfy chair and walked over to Lizzie. He reached out and gave her a big bear hug. "I thought you were gonna sleep the whole weekend away, Lizzie." "Not a chance, Uncle Jack," Lizzie answered. That seemed to release the tension in the room. Soon everyone was hugging her and talking about stuff. The fact that she was standing there wearing nothing but a diaper and a t-shirt was not even brought up. Soon everyone settled back down in their chairs and Lizzie looked around the room for a place to sit. "Over here," her mother called her. Lizzie looked over and was surprised to see a playpen set up. Course, she thought as she walked over and climbed in. The conversations that were happening before Lizzie walked into the room resumed and Lizzie just sat in her playpen and listened. Lizzie would learn later that Grandma with her mother's help had explained to everyone what was going on and that everyone had agreed to keep things as normal as possible. Otherwise Lizzie and Sandra would have left and that would have been sad.